show.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. It's good fun.
And it's going to be a nice show because we have some more young talents that have come thanks to you here. And that's Styke over there. Hello.
Hey.
Yay. And
Come.
Phuture-T.
Let's go.
And of course, my favorites, musical brothers. Morty.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, yes.
So, and myself, Credo.
Hey. Let's everyone get a round of applause. Come on.
We're starting, and it's going to be an interesting show.
Sorry. Oh, no. Sorry.
That's all the time, and no worries.
Listening in the background and starting with another very special friend that I want to thank and who linked me with Chris, and that's also the reason why. Yeah, Spikey T.
Sorry, I'm ruined your...
Big ups to Spikey, much respect.
Sorry.
And thank you for your dubs. We're listening to Black Woman, and that's from Agent Alvin and Spikey T. Enjoy. We're coming back. We're getting ready, and prepare your ears. A lot to discuss, a lot to hear.
one selection. Don't come around with your attitude like you're on some kind of mission. Walking around saying you are the champion. Cause when my selector puts him on one selection. Oh yeah. Alright. Oh yeah. Alright. Don't come around with your attitude like you're on some kind of mission. Don't come around with your attitude like you're on some kind of mission. The rhythm that my sound is playing to you will beat a fool into some.
So yeah, we're all set. We're all ready.
No, I don't need headphones on.
You what? Sorry?
I don't need to have my headphones on, do I?
No, if you don't want to, it's alright.
Nah, good. All right.
No, yeah.
Don't. It's fine.
So yeah, a little bit of background information also about this session. We started back in July, August. We started July it
Yeah.
was. We saw everything that was happening with the racism and how it's also affecting the drum and bass scene and things that have come out actually lately.
Yeah.
And we wanted to kind of have a panel of people that is coming in and is helping us also to understand what is going on exactly and understand better the situation, raise awareness, and also see what there is there actually to be done.
Sure.
So we did that with 3 guests, 3 shows back to back, and then we committed to continue to do that at least once a month, to have somebody on our show to talk about racism, to talk about everything that is happening. And of course, we're going to talk about a lot of projects that you're involved and
Yeah.
your music and everything that you're doing,
Sure.
which are very important and worth actually talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, you want to start maybe trademark or?
Yeah. That's good. Just start small, maybe. The Black Junglist Alliance. Can you please tell us in a few words what it is and
In
why
a
did you start?
few words.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, more than a few
This will
words,
be fun. No, I mean it is probably the easiest way of saying it. It's a resource of information, and well, I mean essentially that is what it's going to become. What it is, but has become. But it's a form of information on a number of different levels. So it's whether or from a legacy point of view, a sort of historical point of view, or even sort of more current or sort of personality kind of I guess points of view. We want to be able to fill in the gaps. I mean, I noticed. Sorry, I've got to say, Carino, you said we're come to discuss racism, and I'm far more interested in discussing the pursuit of black excellence within jungle and drum and bass. Despite who I'm in the room with, do you know what I mean? But that's if that's the conversation, that's what I would like it to be, because I think most black people, that at least, I mean, I can't speak for every black person on the planet. I can't speak for every black person in jungle, but I can certainly speak for the black people I've spoken to, you know, in my social groups. We're just really all kind of bored. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just boring.
Of what exactly?
Just of just the whole, just the lack of, empathy from certain demographics in most countries around the world. You know, in terms of how difficult and how frustrating it can be living with black skin. So that's why I think.
On that note, what is your feeling? What is your view? How do you?
So that's what I'm saying. So when you ask me what the Black Junglist Alliance is about, it's about, you know, ultimately that. I mean, it's about redressing and filling in the gaps that most black junglists, at least that I have spoken to, have seen disappear over the last 10 or 15 years. Now, obviously, I, you know, had a grievance with a particular organisation.
Yeah, we can talk about it actually if you feel comfortable about it.
No. But what I'm saying is, so you know, obviously, I had a grievance with a particular organisation, and you know, they are culpable of, from my point of view, a systemic sort of. I'm not going to use the word whitewashing because I'm really bored of everyone keep using that trope. I don't think that's quite the right word, but it's probably better to sort of say, like, I don't know, sort of like someone like leaving people out of out in the cold. Do you know what I mean? It's like a what's the opposite? Exclusion. It's an exclusion. Yeah.
Putting it on the side, marginalizing.
Yeah. So it's an exclusion. So it's like, okay, so you can get involved in this and this, but not this. You know what I mean? And that was that. And on that particular project, because it was so heavily and so closely related to black culture, you know, it was so kind of upsetting to realise how deliberate the actions were on their part, and it just, you know, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna all learn from this on some level. I really hope. Sorry, I've got to get this out. I really hope they do. I think we've all seen, or most people in jungle drum and bass have seen recently, you know, some of the actions have suggested that they're still not quite getting it right.
That's an understatement, to be honest. But.
Yeah, and look, I've got to almost feel sorry for them a little bit, because I have to make this clear. I told them at the beginning what to do in regards to dealing with this. I said to him, just go and find a black artist. Don't do any grand gestures. Don't do any stupidness. Don't make any pledges, or don't do any initiatives. Just go and find a fucking black artist. It's really not that hard. Just, there's loads of us out there. And I guess there was I think, maybe arrogance, maybe ignorance. I don't know. I don't really care anymore. But they just didn't choose to do that. And
no,
so,
to be honest,
you know,
that's
it's up to them. But look, like I said, I don't want to harp on about them. Really, it's done. They're, you know, their fans are eating them, and you know, like a zombie horde. And because so many of them are confused by what's happening, and they don't understand, and they just think that hospital have become all woke because of George Floyd. I literally saw someone post that. Because they never really addressed the original grievance. That's the thing. They never said, oh, Chris Inperspective said this, and this is what we're doing about it, or Chris Inperspective said this, and he's a lying fucking bastard. They never did. You know what I mean? They just never addressed it. They just started with all this stuff. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear, am I?
Yeah, you can. In
oh,
this
okay,
radio,
great. Yeah,
you
fuck
can.
pilots. Yeah,
Please.
Trust me, Spikey was all happy about it.
Oh,
also.
brilliant. Yeah, that's canteen spunker. Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, this latest post, whatever they try to do, and try to do it right. And
I know what they're trying to do.
I cannot get it. I'm a white person.
You see, look, you see, here's the thing, because there's people in the black community, you know, I've seen black people go, well, at least they're trying. And yes, the sentiment is great. You could argue that they're trying to do something. My thing is there a big enough organisation with enough resources to help, you know, I mean, fuck it, we're talking about them now, aren't we? So, all right, so like Hugh Hardy was on there for like a year and a half before he signed to when the first release was. Winey was like 2 years. You know, they had time to develop those guys.
Yeah.
But they can't do the same for black artists. That's what it seems like.
They chose not to.
And so what they do, they've got the main label, and then they're doing these kind of offshoot initiatives which don't affect the main thing.
And doesn't address any of my personally very humble view, putting myself in, like you said, empathy. It's important to understand where the other person is coming from and the frustration. And I found that it made things worse.
What artist
looking for them?
There are going to be black artists going to hate me for saying this, but what black artists worth their salt would work with Hospital now? There are probably black artists that are going to hear me say this and hate me for saying this. But you know, really, like, who is going to be the one that kind of goes, all right, fine, fuck it, I'll take that chalice? I hope someone does, and I'll applaud them if they reach out to that particular individual and sign them and do something with them. And I'll, you know, give credit where credit's due. But this is a prime example of what happens when you have a room full of white people trying to deal with diversity. And because it's so clear by the way they write, the fact that the balls up with the brown person and then saying they're not brown enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And they're not dark enough. And and that's just so indicative of just a bunch of white people making the decision. They didn't speak to anyone. And it's so obvious they didn't speak to anyone. I feel so bad for them. Because there's some really, you know, there's some actually really good people that are still working there, despite what people might think. There's some really good people that work there. And it's
Do
just,
you
it's
think
just
that
sad.
it's going to be a trigger also for the, I mean, not only in this organization, right? In any organization where they come out with stuff like that, and isn't it an eye opener? We would think, we would hope.
It's look. If you want to make the change, you make the change. It's that simple. You know, the Me Too thing happened. They went and signed Flavor D, right? No issue. Yeah. And I think why it was easy for them to do that is because the board at Hospital Records all have women in their houses, but none of them have got black people in their houses. So it's a lot more difficult to put your mindset down that road to go, oh fuck, hold on a minute, this room's a bit white. Let me just, do you know what I mean? If one of them was married to, I mean, I just think that it's hard sometimes for certain demographics, or at least people in power, to kind of go, let's have a look around us. Let's see what's happening in here. Let's see if we can change things for the better. Now, considering their size and the infrastructure they have, you know, their hiring processes and everything else, it's obvious that they only want a certain thing or only a certain type of person. Shout out to Chris Dexter. I'm going to mention you now, bruv. I'm sorry, but it was evident from when we were there that he was too working class almost, and I was too black. And it was just really weird. I mean, and they're going to deny it. You know, they're going to hear me say this and go, that's not true. Just, you know, the people that are denying it, you know I'm right. But that's all right. It's all right. It's not about, you know, individual issues with particular individuals at that particular organisation.
It's addressing a bigger point.
But so my main concern now is what the Black Junglist Alliance is and what we're going to be doing. And what we're trying to do, just to go back to that original question, sorry, just to pull it all back to the original question, is going to be trying to bring back ownership and inclusion. That's the two watchwords that we want, and by a number of different ways. We still don't know entirely how we're going to do it. There's certain things we know we're going to definitely do. We've got the Alliance sessions, which is going to be a live stream, you know, boiler room type thing. We've got the venue. We're going to be doing a schedule for it.
Yeah,
you know, we've started inviting guests. We're really excited about that. We want it to look amazing, and it's going to look amazing. You know, we've got obviously the BJA TV, which is obviously uploading tracks, and you know, we're going to carry on in that particular mode.
Are you looking to release the tunes as well?
Yeah, we keep getting asked this, and it's become a bit of a like private joke between the board, because one of the things I said in one of our first meetings is that I have no intention of starting another label.
No.
So I think the answer short term is maybe. But what we do have on our ideas board, if you like, is an album. So I think what we like the idea of is maybe doing a singular, succinct project that people could submit tracks to, and that we can put out as a project and hopefully raise some money for some of the projects we have in mind. I mean, we're closely working, potentially, fingers crossed, working with the London College of Music and with University of Hertfordshire, potentially. But these are all things that are kind of in the works and development, because if you start getting involved with university and educational organisations, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of due diligence and stuff. But the basic idea is for us to do a summer school. So what we want to do is have a programme where a group of individuals, not one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you exactly the definition of that, actually.
Let's leave it. Can come and in a fun and entertaining way fill in the gaps that have been left out. So because there really is a disconnect between your average drum and bass listener today and what the real history of this music is.
Yeah.
There's a massive disconnect. And okay, slightly controversial side swipe, but the further east in Europe you go, the bigger the disconnect is. And that for me is one of the worrying prospects, because most of the biggest drum and bass events happen in Eastern Europe, and it's like, well, hold on a minute. So there's people, we literally saw people saying, what have black people got to do with jungle? Cleveland Watkins literally screenshot someone saying that, and this person hailed from that area of the world, and it's just, I don't want to piss anyone off, but it's worrying. And I'm not trying to say everyone in that part of the world is racist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's a lack of understanding that we need to try and make sure. See, I'm doing my black clap hands now. I'm doing what you need to understand is that we're trying to address the issues of the day. Anyway, so I just turned into Malcolm X all of a sudden. No, so, but what I'm saying is that we need to try and address those issues. It would be really great to address those issues. Shout out to all the board of BJ, I love you all, and shout out to all the members in the chat and everything else. Sorry, on Drum and Bass NL, sorry, that giving me shouts. So
nice, thank you. I have a question actually based on, we had a long discussion the whole day, and with the guys also while we were hanging out, and I still have a question that it's a difficult question, because I understand that the initiative is to promote the black people within the industry.
Sure.
And the black excellence, as you put it, actually, to use your word.
Sure. Whose initiative are you talking about?
Sorry?
What initiative are you talking about?
About the Black Junglist Alliance, and in general all this, because it was a little background. It was a question that I asked Spikey one day, and I said, don't you feel that some things are getting extra polarized, and then this creates a little bit more of a division rather than inclusion, really?
Sure. Do you know what? I think every time I've heard that question, it's never come from a black mouth.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just giving you. Look. I used to work in sales, so objection handle, right?
I like to understand.
And the thing is that I've got used to hearing similar arguments time and time again. And so the idea of having a black organisation that addresses diversity causing division is not an idea that people of colour have.
No, what I mean is not that the concept is not about not having white people. That's where I'm trying to get to understand, actually.
Well, it's not that we don't have white people. It's just that there are white people in the actual group, or we choose to call them allies in this instance, although I find that a bit lame. But yeah, I mean, we do have people in the group that aren't black or of colour, right? So, but we need to make sure it's a safe space for black voices, in the same way that EQ50 is a safe space for female voices in jungle drum and bass. And I don't really see, even though I don't like lining up the two, the gender and the race issues, I do find there are some similar parallels. And I think there's a lot of benefit from being able to just talk about some shit and not kind of have a white person going, but don't all lives matter, man? And it's like, shut up. It's not the point. We're just talking some black shit here. Do you know what I mean? Can we just talk some black shit? Like, without someone going, Sorry, not like all white people sound like that. But that's how it sounds to us.
Yeah,
because it's just like, shut up. We're just saying, isn't it funny when you get asked to, if you got drugs in a rave or something? Do you know what I mean? Just the standard black tropes that we've all had to go through that are boring as hell to deal with. You know, and we want to be able to just talk some shit and also have some fun and also maybe resolve some shit. Like, you know, there've been some slightly difficult and tempestuous conversations in the group, and I feel they've all been beneficial. Even when, you know, even when white people have inadvertently kind of said, but no, and then everyone's going, oh, you know what I mean? You can sort of see, like, you know, you can sort of see the kind of the moments when it happens. But what I have been very clear to, you know, we've all really worked hard to make sure that doesn't happen, is that if someone, you know, asks a question that's a bit like, ugh, and you want to roll your eyes, just, all right, yeah, but let's not attack them. Let's just educate and just be cool and just...
I like that approach.
Yeah.
Because I know who I am.
Sure.
And it's not because I want to tap on something.
No.
Or trademark or Morty, our concept is not about tapping on something that is actually something that's going to bring us audience or we are really genuine about it, because at least for myself I can speak, I have friends that are coming from everywhere.
Sure.
And like I've mentioned,
I'll tell you what, right? Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you, but I just wanted to say this one thing. What do you think causes more division? Okay, a group of about 827, I think at the last count, 829, like mostly black junglists, or 10 years of just like, drum and bass is really white, quote unquote.
no.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, literally. I mean, because this is what has been sold to the wider world. Like, not just by whoever, but by a number of those labels. And it's not... that's pretty deliberate. There's definitely something there in that. And you sort of go, well, hold on a minute. I mean, like, if you look at all the top 5-6 labels, they're all pretty... You know,
I totally agree, and I understand.
So something's wrong.
I understand also the frustration, because I have, like I mentioned to you and the guys they know, and it was one of our guests, Chidi, my friend, who used to be a label manager for a techno label here in Holland, in Amsterdam.
Sure.
And she is very heavily involved as a freelancer with cultural projects that are involving actually the black community here in Amsterdam.
Sure.
And she shared it with us also when we had her on the interview, that so many times she was sitting in the meeting room, she was coming up with an idea, but the idea was turned down, switched off. Oh yeah, this is not interesting. And then 5 minutes later, the white boy that is actually in the room, plus she's a woman, white guy that was there, I was getting all the credit, and finally this idea becomes great.
Black. I mean, I can certainly.
And I definitely don't agree. No. Just a statement. I don't agree. I don't feel comfortable with that. This is not how I look at life and to people myself.
Sure. And I think most good people don't either. And I think I don't want this to sound like we're here to sort of say, you know, every white person that likes jungle is basically a racist. That's not what this is. That's very, very far from what we're saying, because I don't really believe that. I think there are a lot of white people that maybe just didn't really honestly think about it until it was raised, and I think maybe there was a slight overestimation of how far my initial video went out. Because I just think they just overreacted. Like, do you know what I mean? They didn't. I think there's a lot of their fans that are really confused right now. I think there's so many fans, and you can see it.
And they don't probably understand where it's coming from, right?
They don't understand because, like I said, they didn't address the original grievance.
Yeah. So,
you know, and I think it's just their arrogance of maybe, quote unquote, not letting me have my 50 minutes of fame. I think they actually thought I was doing this for some kind of ego trip. And you know, that's fine. And I think there's probably loads of people out there listening to this would think the same. Well, that's absolutely fine. But I know my own self, and the people that know me know my own heart. And the people that were around me when a lot of this shit was happening know. You know, artists on the label that I'm friends with, they knew what was happening. So, you know, it is what it is now. And I'm just pleased that some good in the shape of the Black Junglist Alliance has come out of it. I think that's the most important thing out of all of this.
And I think, you know, I understand that maybe my question is a difficult one, and it sounds like, oh, that's white girl.
No. I'm just...
You know, what I think is important for you guys and for your objective, your mission, your vision, and any initiative that goes towards that direction, is important to have the floor also to clarify that, because it comes across to the people like, oh yeah, that's they want to do this little black community thingy, and they want to exclude the white people. There is a lot of
You
ignorance.
see, there's so much exclusion of black people, though. I don't know why
Yeah.
that's ever an issue.
But I think don't you think that it's important to have the floor and clarify it also, because then there is no doubt.
Well, no
in
one
people's
ever
minds.
clarified anything with us,
Yeah, true.
right?
Agree.
There wasn't any kind of moment where they, sort of white run labels sort of went, you know what? For the next 10 years, we're just not going to put any of your shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah? No one said that.
No.
We set up some small little organisation, and you're not the first to do this. You're not the first to ask me this. And it's like, oh, isn't this going to cause more division? No, fuck you. We're just trying to talk some shit in a group and see if we can get some ownership and inclusion back again. And it just, and I know it sounds really lame, that ownership and inclusion. It sounds like a bit of a, yeah. But that's kind of what it is, because when you look at the fabric of the top end of drum and bass, and you look at the history of drum and bass, you're like, well, what happened?
Yeah, something was lost.
It's like,
What do you think?
It's
that
like
happened? I mean,
the click in Marvel movies. Do you know what I mean? It's like what Thanos, like when there's just a gap and they all come back and it's just, well, it's like all this rubbish is piled up in the streets, and it's like, well, I left it like this,
and it turned
and then I
into
come
that.
back and then it's just like this. I mean, literally, that's what I've had people say to me. People say, when I left jungle in this year, there was black people, Asian people, da-da-da-da. I went to a rave 5-10 years later, and there was not a single black face whatsoever. Like, what?
So I'm going back to Mark's trademarks question. You said, why do you think this happened?
yeah.
Fuck.
What happened?
It's I mean,
Where did it get lost into the translation or whatever?
I think, okay, this is, look, this is just my opinion, okay? Mm-hmm. Because this is just what I think. I think that what happened at a particular time in jungle and drum and bass, you had, everything was kind of rolling along quite neatly, right? And there was a lot of unity and division. There was no division, everyone was together in things. And I think there were certain elements of the sound that what was being quote unquote quoted as being considered darker, like, sort of like dark jungle, like nights like AWOL and Jungle Fever and stuff were getting like darker. Man started turning up Machino, and it was all a bit gangster related and all this sort of stuff. How true a lot of that is, I'm still unsure. They're gonna hate me for saying this, but Mix Mag were a big contributor to that. They used to make this kind of image of what a junglist would look like, and it was always someone you had to avoid, and there was a lot of sort of like negative press aimed towards jungle in its purest sense of how it was created, as i.e. with black people involved. I think there were probably some incidents that happened at some jungle events probably didn't help. I think Form 696, which was a government form that came in and started to marginalise events. So if you said you were doing a jungle event, you probably wouldn't be allowed to put your event on.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that was a massive thing that people don't talk about.
696.
Yeah,
We're not
Form
digging into it.
696, yeah. So there was Westminster Council. Obviously, all the clubs getting shut down in London and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That didn't help. I think that's it's a number of factors there. And then just the onset of that state, like from when DJ, and this all accumulated when DJ started to leave clubs and go onto stadiums in festivals, right? Mm-hmm. So there was obviously certain labels that were cashing in on that at the same time. I think it's a number of different factors. I don't think I can honestly say, after all the conversations I've had, that all of it is deliberate, right? I have to try and give the benefit of the doubt. In some cases, I think there have been some more deliberate actions. I think there have been some more deliberate campaigns against certain echelons or certain styles of drum and bass. There's certain stories that have been repeated to me, how true they are or not, which sort of like add weight to that. I think that what happened over a period of time, somehow the black contribution to jungle and drum and bass was diminished in value in a number of different ways. And so it was, people were able to look at this shit and kind of go, oh, that's over there. And then, oh, but we've got this. This is great. Look at this guy. He's all shiny and.
And maybe the oversaturation also in terms of
I mean, I don't really want to get into the taste thing because I don't really subscribe, and I know people know this, but I don't really subscribe to the idea that there's black and white sounds in jungle and drum and bass. I think, because, especially with the people that I know now, you know, and I've name checked in before, but there's people that, you know, like Chris Cords I've mentioned, you know, that, and we've talked about it, you know, people don't necessarily listen to his music and think a black guy's made it, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I love that about him. And I think that's one of the things from our side, if you like, we've kind of got to be a little bit more progressive about, and kind of sort of not say to somebody, well, your music's not black enough. Jeremy Sinister, you know, he's another person that said, had black people tell him that. You know, and I just think that's a dangerous line, because we're devaluing our own art. Like, when we do that, we should be supporting each other in whatever the fuck we want to do. If there's a black metric out there, I want to support him. Right? Simple. As crazy as that might sound, I want to support him. And you know,
I have a question on that, but I think because of the time,
please,
because Styke will
Styke,
need to be taking
Styke,
his train very
Styke.
soon, and we want to give the floor and the space to Styke to
shout
talk
out
about.
Shout out Matt Moss. I know you tuned in. Love you, man. Eloisa, Manvia, love ya.
So maybe Styke, if you would like to steal a little bit the seat and the headphones and the mic from Phuture-T, and then maybe trademark you and present Styke.
Yeah, of course. So, Styke,
Next guest is
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
A young, talented producer from Den Haag, if I'm not mistaken.
sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me again.
You just recently released an outstanding EP on Eloisa Records.
We're gonna come back to that
Big
also.
up Chris, big up Matt for that one.
How did you get in touch with each other?
Well, Matt, who was on the Eloisa Records team, reached out to me on Facebook. He apparently had listened to my Focus EP that came out before that, the Sanguine EP.
Yeah.
And he said, like, yeah, we like your music, so we want to put out some on our new label. It's called Eloisa, and we're trying to start it up with some promising artists. And that's when I got in touch with Chris and with the whole team. That's how it started.
Nice.
Pretty much.
When did you start with drum and bass in general, Styke?
Not that long ago.
What?
You're a very young lad.
I'm a
huh?
very young guy. I think I started listening to drum and bass music in like 2017, like 3 years
No
ago.
way.
I'm actually really young in
Mental, innit?
the style. I mean, I've always been into electronic music and the electronic styles, but I never found drum and bass. And as soon as I heard the drum and bass
depressing.
sound, just the fast breaks, the
What was your music before? What was your
I'm sorry?
music? What type of music are you really?
I've been into a lot of music. I've been into a lot of house. I've been into hardstyle for a while.
Gabba?
Absolutely,
The
yeah,
east
there's
side of
that.
Holland.
Yeah, that's the
And then eventually I found drum and bass, and especially one of the first things I heard was Lensman, and that instantly struck me. The fast breaks with the soul and the jazz influences, that just really got me. And I was making music for a little while longer than that. I think about 5 or 6 years. And I was like, yeah, I want to make this. I want to make this stuff. And eventually.
So what is this stuff?
This
How
stuff,
would you define that stuff?
I would
Yeah,
say,
what's your sound?
I would say soulful drum and bass music, to say it shortly. I like all styles of soulful music, soul itself, of course, but also hip hop, and those kind of styles really inspire me. And yeah, that's what I'll say. Soulful drum and bass. I'll keep it at that.
Nice. We do have some awesome tunes that you brought us a little gift, which is from an upcoming. Is it already released? The Differential Records music. Sorry.
I think the stuff we have
EP.
ready now is from the Eloisa EP, which came out like a month ago now.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I made a mistake.
The Oversight EP.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oversight.
It's Oversight.
Yes, Oversight EP on
With,
Eloisa, yes.
Emilia and Shuda Ducey on the vocals on the title track.
So good.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. It's just all I think. All
I'm
I have to
loading the
say
tune
is,
at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you.
Ah,
I'm
it's
actually
alright,
looking
it's
at the
alright.
screen because I'm gonna be.
I think personally, it's my best work my best work yet. I think I really found my sound here with this piano-driven, soul-driven drum and bass music.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I just really like this sound, so I think I'm gonna stick to it.
Very nice. We're gonna be looking forward for the new releases also.
I've sent some stuff over to Chris.
Mate, it's outstanding. I said to you, bro. Like, why are you sweating me?
He just did it publicly on the
sweating me
radio.
all day. Yeah, but I said those things, and I was like, no, honestly, they're absolutely incredible. I said, but I can't remember. Matt's gonna have to help me out because I swear, maybe I said to Matt all I said. I can't remember what I said. It might have been in the management chat we have with Matt and Manvir. Shout out to Manvir, Anna, Jordan, Simon, Chris Instinct, Alex Jones, Caroline,
Matt. Don't forget Matt.
I said Matt. Yeah, no, I was like Matt. Yeah, I think I've forgotten someone.
Shout out Matt for real.
Stan does the artwork on Eloisa.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, shout out to Stan. Sorry.
Do we have everyone now?
I think so. I've probably forgotten someone.
So Eloisa, you wanna talk because I've loaded the Oversight featuring Emilienne Chudadusi. Do I pronounce that?
Yeah,
correct?
Chudadusi. Yeah.
Chudadusi. Where are
You
they
hooked
from?
me up with her, yeah.
Yes, she
Because
works with Mike Kiss on Crate 67.
That's true.
Yeah, so it was actually Johnny that sent me the link to her, some of her work, and then we got her on a track on that while I was at the White House, and then
Washington DC.
No, the company I used to work for. That's my nickname for him. I mean, she oh my God, like, she's so good. Like,
yeah,
in terms,
I remember sending you the demo for Oversight, just the instrumental, and you were really liking it because of the steppy groove and the progression in it, and it sounded really good. Yeah. And eventually you said, we need a vocal on this because it really needs it.
Something really jazzy and classy. I think I remember saying.
Classy is a very good way of describing it. It's very.
Well, that's what she is. She's pure class. Yeah, she really is.
And I remember you sending or me sending the instrumental, and eventually she sent me she sent me back one take, and it was perfect.
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't have to change anything.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
that really took it to another level.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing really as well because that was just when COVID was just starting to kick off. So she didn't have many opportunities to get into a studio because that was like because she's based in France, so it was really kind of.
Yeah, I was going to ask if she's French, Emilienne.
Yeah, she's based in France. So it really started to kick off there. So she just managed to get some time to just get a couple of hours in the studio and I think she only managed to literally do 1 or 2 takes. And then
wow, that's amazing.
So
I think I got maybe 2 or 3, but that was more than enough.
Yeah. I mean, we got it done. It's amazing. But I mean, he's such a talent, this one. That's what I'm saying. He just makes you sick. It's depressing. You know what I mean? But it's fantastic. It's been fantastic working with him as well. And it's been a lot of fun. And I've learned a lot from working with him. And that's one of the things that's been so great about Eloisa is because...
I was going to ask you a little bit about that in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I've kept it fairly low-key to begin with. Well, I still will because it's not, you know, I want the music on the label to kind of do the talking and Matt's doing such a fantastic job with running it. And it's just that I really do like a lot of different styles of drum and bass. I always have done. And even though I've had this history with Inperspective Records and everything else, I think there's always been a little bit of me like, I quite like that jump up tune. I wouldn't, I wouldn't be able to put it out in perspective. I mean, you know, where we're taking that is a whole another thing. But, you know, it was fun to come up with the idea with Matt to do the label. And after some sort of squelchy, weird starts, it's starting to actually take some real shape. And I'm really excited, especially like, you know, obviously we've had Justin on there and got shout out Trojan and Simon Splice. Got shout out Juice as well.
Big one.
And obviously we've got Bungle, you know, on there now.
Oh, wow,
and
nice.
Pixis with her, you know, well,
Crazy.
I believe we still
EP.
haven't been corrected yet, but we believe it's history in the making because it's 5 women on one drum and bass release.
Wow.
So that's never happened before.
No.
So Pixis Marissa's produced all the tracks and then there's 4 female vocalists alongside them. So you can check that all out now on the Eloisa Bandcamp.
Is it live?
What, on the Eloisa Bandcamp?
Yes.
Yes, very live. You've
All
been
right,
up there,
in that case, go check it out.
Go check it out, yeah. You can go pre-order that now.
All right.
While you're checking it out online now,
Yes, go right now.
you
Eloisa
can also
Bandcamp.
listen on the background. We're gonna just leave some floor to the tune. Thank you, Styke, for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you
Chris,
so
for
much.
linking us.
Can I shut up
real
real
quick?
quick?
Yeah, of
because
course, yeah.
I forgot
Go.
to say something. Big
Sure.
up Oris.
Oh,
for the
yes.
collab
Jos
on the
Vlaar.
EP. Big up Jos. We love you. Big up
It's another
Differential.
talented
Big up
Dutch
all the
guy,
guys.
yeah.
Big up Jeroen, Niels, Mike, I'm forgetting people, but
Shout
all
out
the
Focus
people-
Recordings as well.
Big up Focus, big up
Yeah,
Marco for loving my music.
Yeah,
big
man.
up Casper, again, Differential Recordings.
And
Go
how
check that
about
out.
big up yourself? And we would like to
Thank
have
you.
you again on a different session
Yeah,
just for
that's a
you
good idea.
Thank you very
as a
much.
guest. And we sort out also a live studio mixing
I have a
session
lot of,
That's it.
I
in the
have a lot of
studio.
new music coming,
just
so don't
real
worry.
quick.
I'll be here.
Good.
Where should everyone follow you online?
Follow me on Instagram, Styke DMB. Follow me on Facebook, Styke DMB.
Styke is Styke. Styke.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Listen to my music on Spotify. Buy it, stream it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you like it, at least.
Support your local artists.
I hope you do.
I love it.
That's it.
All right. Big
All
up
right.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for having
Styke.
me.
Let's go, go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Safe
We're listening
journey,
to
man.
the tuner coming back straight to you.
Daring you to see what I don't show. That you know I'm hiding. Why are we implying? Naturally disguising. I don't know. I don't know. Hide for no one to see.
Just do it. Say it.
Deep even from people, they'd rather see what makes them loving you. People, they'd rather flee than face the broken you. You can be all that we wanna see. A cheerful kind of bird and inaccuracy. You have been the shelter. No one would discover. Just show me through the mellow. Daring me to see what you don't show. That you know I'm hiding. What are we implying? Naturally disguising. I don't know. I don't know. Hide, hide.
beautiful, beautiful tune by Styke. This is Mellifluous. Up next, Oversight featuring Emilian.
No one would You're very happy, aren't you, Lee? What am I even doing? You know I am. Right, yeah, got you. Will you play some rock, paper, scissors with Jim? Because no one will play with him.
Yeah, of course I will.
On three. Son.
Love the tune. Almost lost the mouse there. So much I love the tune. So we were listening to another goodness brought to us by Chris Inperspective today, all the way from the UK. And that's After They Turn the Rigs Off.
Yep.
And that's from Earl Grey.
It is. And you know what I'm actually doing as we speak?
What are you doing, Chris Inperspective?
This is a funny turn.
Wait, hold on. Wait, mistakes.
Hold on.
This is monumental. Hold on. I might go wrong.
I have to load the next one, which is again also from Earl Grey, so
Cool.
it's all good. The mime jar lens is gonna play afterwards.
Cool. So I've just made it go live. So it is available to pre-order right now.
What?
Get it!
That's
Get
amazing.
it! The man did the wizardry.
So if you're tuned in and you follow Bandcamp, the Inperspective Records Bandcamp, you'll have an email in your inbox inviting you to pre-order the vinyl and obviously get the digital download straight away if you want to get that right now. So that's available. That'll be coming out on the 25th of September. And I'm
Nice.
really, really proud of
Amazing.
that. You know, Jim has been a friend of mine for going on 15 years now. He put out, obviously, the seminal album Headwinds and, you know, Karmic's Brain, and he's completely reshaped what is possible within drum and bass and jungle. And, you know, amongst this guy here and everyone else on
This guy
Inperspective.
here is Phuture-T.
Phuture-T, of course.
Opposite
And
us.
but we're going to get to you, Tom. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But you know, I get quite not well. You know, I do. I'm all, people know me. I'm always very passionate about my label, about the music that we put out and everything else. And got to shout out Man Veer, who's been doing a fantastic job of label managing Inperspective. But what we're really trying to do is try and just show that there's just other things. It's you know, one of the things we used to say at Technicality when we used to do Technicality years ago is represent the underrepresented. And what I'm really proud of now is that a lot of the stuff that was underrepresented then in 1997, you know, when I started Inperspective Records, is not underrepresented now.
And not anymore. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I'm just really proud of. So, I mean, you know, I could sit here and name. So, this is Underground Jungle. right? So I want to shout out any of the labels in that. If you go to Spotify, this is Underground Jungle. All of the labels in there are the sorts of labels that are my peers or my brothers and sisters who do incredible things to make sure that, you know, drum and bass and jungle doesn't have like a singular road, as it were. That there's loads of paths that could be taken and enjoyed, but it's all in the same, you know, field, if you like. I don't know. I mean, my terrible analogies as always. But I just, yeah, it's like my, you know, my arrow and my laser beam one from earlier on.
And the sword.
Yeah, and sword, yeah. Anyway, don't worry. That's a private joke. But you know, I just think there's, you know, there's labels like, you know, Panko Moonshine, which is one of my favourite labels that just does some of the most amazing mind-bending stuff. And, you know, you know, you've got, oh my God, Skeleton Recordings, and obviously you've got Akko Beats. And,
Skeleton, yeah.
Yeah, you've got Rupture, always representing. You've got, you know, Scientific Wax, my great friend Marlon Sterling, Equinox, who's just been tearing a path through the space-time continuum, as it were, with Eamon for the last 25 years. And like, these people have such a, you know, threshold, you know, that these people have such a major contribution that needs to be absolutely and 100% represented and respected. And I know, and actually they are being now, and that's what's great. You know, because I heard you guys tried to get Threshold over here. And,
yeah,
you know,
that was a painful story. It was big up to Kyle from Haunted Science.
Yeah, Haunted Science.
Who is actually bringing really, I have to admit, it's different type of lineups.
Sure.
And Kyle, he's also with a very limited budget. He is not scared also to kind of experiment a little bit because
and actually, sorry, before I forget, shout out Next Phase. Got to shout out Next Phase again.
Robert Papercam.
Man, Infest. Bad man from what?
What's
he been doing? 15 years now?
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Yeah, I guess.
He's representing Holland, you know, on the world, on a global scale with jungle, doing all tapes and beautiful fucking wooden CD cases and all that sort of thing, which I was very proud to be a part of. And a special mention to Aichi One as well. Have to mention Aichi One because of again the contribution not only to Dutch drum and bass, but to what they represented here. Because they got guys like me over and Paradox and, you know, all us underground guys. You know, Marlon, Equinox. You know, the Rupture guys came here. You know, in different guises. DJ Trax. You know, there's loads of people that have come here represented because of what Rico and the guys did at Aichi One for years. So. Right, got to shout them out. Cheeky Monday as well. Cheeky Monday. Got to shout out Cheeky Mondays as well.
Cool.
Also, a big shout out to Yorobi. I see she's in the chat.
Yoshe.
All right.
Big ups.
Have a good evening, Yoshe. So yeah, I think just to summarize a little bit, in the first hour we were talking about the Black Junglist Alliance, your project, what it is, and how it came about and how it started.
Sure.
And I think we are moving nicely. We had Styke, of course, talking about Eloisa Records and your collab and your partnership and his tunes.
Yep.
We're definitely gonna have Styke.
You should.
Back in the studio with us. And I think that's a transition then with the Earl Grey tunes that we are listening in the background about Inperspective Records.
Yeah.
So what's happening there?
Well, I mean, you just heard it. I mean, like, you know, and obviously we've got Tom's releases out and doing great things and breaking records for us, you know, personally and on the label and that. And in terms of, you know, in terms of a pain in the ass, like the amount of like people involved in this album, I'm proud and terrified of, because we still haven't sorted out certain bits and bobs. But it's but all the people
freestyling
on the album,
is always good.
No, but it's all good. But it's a monumental moment for us because, you know, Tom had the album. He came to us. Well, say us. We had the conversation, didn't we, Tom? And you had mostly kind of like samples. It was mostly sample based, right? And, you know, it was brilliant. Like, do you know what I mean? But I was sort of thinking, and you know, there was influences, you know, from my employer at the time, shall we say, of just understanding how you can potentially elevate and create something original if you avoid the use of samples. that if you can get in touch with session musicians and talented people like, you know, Tom Masons and Dan Goods and, you know, obviously Sophie Murray, Ruth Corey, Jungle Drummer. Actually, that's everyone, isn't it? So if you get in touch with people like that, then you can make something unique and, you know, completely special. And I think that's what's been great. And then to pair it with, you know, Angus Day's incredible artwork, which we obviously worked with him before from from Future-T Drummer, which is available still on Inperspective Banker. We've put out an amazing album, and well, Tom's put out an amazing album. Sorry, more.
Yeah, I have to say a big, massive thank you actually for the copy I got.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
You made a person very, very happy. But yeah, then now over to Tom. Maybe let me load also a tune. Ooh.
Yeah, nice one.
Let's load another tune from Styke, and then we're gonna pass into your tunes and listen a little bit more.
Sweet.
And let's talk about you, Tom. Future-T. Future-T.
Cheers. Thanks for having me. Nice one. Yeah.
Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah.
And again, another little session with you also. We get the sessions flying here. How are you? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm good today. Yeah. I'm still quite stuffed from the dinner we had
it
earlier.
was a good
actually.
dinner?
Yeah.
Really nice,
It was a lovely
nice.
dinner.
Yeah, it was good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the album? Chris made a really nice introduction.
Of course. It's like,
how is it from your perspective?
Yeah. It's a really strange feeling to have it come out really at this point, because I've worked about 3 years on it.
Wow.
And at first when Chris asked me to do it, I pretty much said no. but only because I didn't feel I was ready for it, you know, because I just feel an album is like a very personal thing to be asked for, to make, you know. And I just at that point at time I didn't feel ready. But I was maybe like half a year after.
It
got back to Chris and I was like, let's make it happen.
It didn't take too long for you to
It
become
wasn't that long. It wasn't that long. It was probably like 6 weeks.
I had to figure it out myself, really.
I think you needed to have a moment with yourself, and we talked a couple of times.
Yeah.
And eventually come around to the idea, and I just had complete faith in your creativity.
Yeah. And then on top of that, that's what I love doing the album, like just to get out of my comfort zone, really. Chris asked.
That's how you learn and grow, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, to be honest, I never really thought about collaborating for the album, but then, you know, like it was really cool. Like Chris having great ideas to put in vocalists and live bass as well, and that's like I was really up for it because I really wanted to like feel the album feel organic in a way, you know, and a bit more natural sounding, and yeah.
Nice. That's a great insight and explanation. Thank you for that. Trademark. I don't want to take your questions also.
No. I was just thinking, I mean, you did a great job with the album. I mean, this is one of the best albums I heard in the last few years. So,
sick.
Yeah.
We want to hear?
What was the hardest part to do for the album?
Well, in general, I'm quite slow in finishing tunes. Well, it's not really finishing it. It's alright, but yeah, it was kind of hard getting the sound palettes, if you will, getting together.
Yeah.
But once I had that going, it wasn't that hard actually, and quite enjoyed making it, and it was a pleasure doing it actually.
What do you feel is the best track on the album?
Ooh,
It's kind of a
that's really
fucked
hard.
up question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Well, personally, I really like El Ritmo Mundial.
Yeah.
Is it?
And this is one that I have loaded here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
And it's funny because it's a sort of a playful tune, with rather complex drum breaks though. But I feel it's totally me though, you know, like so, yeah.
Y el ritmo mundial, ¿por qué?
Old Miss 20 languages over here.
Don't get me
All
started.
day we've been like, she's speaking Russian now, we're speaking Italian, whatever. You know what I mean? Sorry. It's amazing.
I was just checking his Spanish. But you know what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, let's
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
shut your mics and we're gonna
Let's
listen
play it.
to this tune.
Let's do it.
El
Copy
ritmo
dig.
mundial.
Yes.
Phuture-T
Persuasive funk.
Persuasive Funk is the LP
Let's hear it.
on Inperspective Records. We're back in a bit.
Este es el ritmo. Este es el ritmo. Este es el ritmo. Este es el Este es el ritmo. Este es el ritmo. Este es el ritmo. Este es el Te quiero ver bailar. es el ritmo. Este 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 es el 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 ritmo.
Slow burning, yeah. Ooh, yeah. We got them 1, 2, 3. So good, you stomping your feet. We got them funky tricks. Drum line, bass line, bringing the heat. Oh yeah, we love these beats. So good, you stomping your feet. We got them funky tricks.
Who's scared of me? This is such a lie. So, back, drum bass break. Chris Inperspective. Phuture-T is still in the house. And
What's up?
Morty on the mic.
Yo.
Trademark overseeing Morty and the video stream.
Hello. What a nice show tonight. Thanks, Chris.
Hey,
Thanks, Phuture-T,
thanks.
and thanks again, Styke, for
Yeah.
joining this show. It is still amazing.
We are
It's real
still
nice.
live until midnight
Yeah.
as every Sunday. We still have 18 minutes and 25 seconds to be precise.
Oh, that's very precise.
That's very precise.
So I'm gonna shut my question very quick. First of all, we listened to Persuasive Funk also, which is the main title of the album of Phuture-T.
100%.
And I'm now playing, we are now playing Tumbleweed because we like the weed. And we love the tune.
Yeah.
So, Phuture-T, our dear friend, tell us the scoop you were supposed to tell us.
So I've been asked what's the next project.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna working on some next stuff from Inperspective Records.
That's lovely to
Probably
hear.
probably an EP to start off with.
I just think, I think the relationship's great and it's been really healthy and I just think it needs to continue. And it's simple as that. Yeah.
And it would be cool to continue on the live aspect of things.
I was going to ask about, what's the
I like the
concept?
idea of maybe trying to do, maybe work on doing Persuasive Funk live.
Yeah, that would be
Oh,
great.
that's a great
amazing.
idea.
Very
Once the
nice.
fucking Corona's over.
Yeah, exactly.
This
we
is-
can, we can sort of maybe get everyone together.
Yeah.
Even with a seated party, you can actually make this happen and it can be a very big success.
Yeah. I mean, if depending on how long this goes on for, it might be something we'll probably have to end up recording a live stream.
Yeah, we might.
I think that would be the natural next step. I know Sophie would absolutely smash it, and obviously Chris would it'd be to get Chris involved. I think, depending on obviously ever busy schedule.
Yeah.
So I think, and obviously Tom and Ruth. But I think that would be the next step for me. But until then, let's do another EP, man.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Let's do it.
Yep.
So, any more scoops coming from you?
Oh, not really.
Hey, you just got one.
It's I've been working on a couple of things, of course, but a couple of things for Next Phase Records.
Sweet.
I mean,
Hey, for
Gorilla
Robert,
Bass as
nice.
well. Other than that, nothing much. Yeah, I just want to focus on
I'm sure you're
just
busy.
a couple of steady labels, and just go with them. And I
any
think it will
info
be
about
fine.
that?
I'm sorry.
Info about that? Oh no, but a great one where I think we all appreciate your tunes and the LP
thanks so much.
that has come out, and
Sweet.
more from you is even better.
Yeah.
Makes the
Cool.
world happier,
100%.
right?
Yeah, so does Stoli, it seems. But yeah, it's fine.
Morty, over to you.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, boy.
Hey, man, what you doing? I'm really liking the show. I'm really blessed with Chris today.
Oh, thank you.
And of course, Mr. Phuture-T.
Any questions?
Any questions? Well, it's rather all been discussed already in the first hour. You talked a lot, Chris, and really thankful for that. And you showed some perspectives for me as well, and trying to educate myself as well about the whole thing. So
Cool,
it's
man.
nice to see. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very
See you
much.
talking
Appreciate
about
that.
this,
Appreciate
and I learned stuff, and you are very inspirational. So
that. Oh, you're too kind.
yes.
No, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you very much. I
And
really appreciate it.
the thing about racism is I cannot say I understand it because obviously it's a pity, but I have no racism situations in my life, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand the whole situation, and I think it's fucked up that still today in 2020, like the future, people get really ridiculed and judged by the color of their skin. It sickens me. Really.
It is tiresome. It is boring. But like I said, I think what I try to want to do is just try and get back to that conversation of how we can be more positive. Sort of rather than talking about, okay, we know the shit happens. What do we do to try and resolve that? And I think by seeing more faces of color in the scene, certainly that's going to hopefully help. I think for me particularly, black women, are just almost invisible in jungle and drum and bass at the moment. And that, I mean, obviously there are black women that go to events, and obviously there are black women DJs. There are a couple black women DJs, as we know of. But what I would really love to find in the next year, 6 months, whenever it is I don't know if there are any black female producers.
Yeah.
I don't genuinely know of any, and I hope there's someone listening to this and saying, "No, I'm make tunes. Look, listen to me." I really hope that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there is one. It's
Oh, there are. I think. Yeah.
I really, really hope and pray.
Yeah.
There is one. Yeah.
There must be, but like you said, there's no visibility, there's no channel,
No, exactly.
there's nobody
There's no one
to have a mission to discover, develop, and bring them out there, and let them also be themselves.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I think I should mention EQ50. I think their mentorship program. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's from the right point of view. It's from the right place, and they're the right organisation to do that for women in jungle and drum and bass.
Yeah.
So Mantra, Sweet Pea, DJ Fly, Ali Cat. I'm sorry if I've forgotten anyone else, but those are all ones I know that are heavily involved and organise it all. And I think they do a fantastic job. I think, and I also want to say, there was that, nonsense with Flight.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people have different opinions on it. From my side, I think the reason why this was quite difficult for me to see was that having been through what I had gone through and not really received much vitriol, the fact that there was vitriol on both sides. I think there was some irritating things said by people that were sort of on Flight side and the other Flight, right? But I think what was quite sad is that it sort of descended into like the name calling and the that sort of stuff. And I don't think that would have happened if Natalie wasn't a woman. I really don't think that would. I think it was easy to happen to her as a woman.
I see what you're saying, and I think maybe you're right actually on that, because blokes, they also try to find different ways to
silence women.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. I was it was this print screen, the screenshot trademark that you had shared with me about this. I'm not gonna name names and shame, but I was so fucking pissed off. Language, Chris Sula. But it was.
What was the context of it? What was the context of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we can show you. We can no.
I'll tell you off mic.
Oh, really? About Natalie?
We can show you. But it was somebody that at the end of the day doesn't have anything to do with the beef, with taking part in the beef, calling out names.
Yeah, because because I think the narrative for a lot of people was, well, how dare this black woman suggest that this wonderful guy from America, which I ain't gonna beef with Justin. I ain't, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not judging Justin here.
No.
I'm talking about the people that were being that way, right? So it was like two types of people essentially. It was like, how dare she question, she doesn't deserve. And then there was like, all the sort of people on Natalie's side. I was like, well, who's this new guy? Do you know what I mean? How dare he kind of take, Natalie, who's been in the scene for X number of years, blah blah. How dare he kind of steal from her as a white man? I think there was a lot of people that kind of saw it that way, especially with the climate as it was at the time.
Yeah.
I think some people saw it that way a little bit. But I can't, again, I'm anyone listening to this, I'm just surmising that from what I saw from my Facebook thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's my bubble. That's what I saw. So I don't know if that was a general sense, but I saw people say those sorts of things. Now, I don't necessarily entirely agree, but I certainly think from a gender point of view, she was. It was
easier to be done.
Yeah, I think even me as a black man had more privilege as a man in jungle and drum and bass, because I could call out some shit and not really. I didn't have one email, anything of abuse, or. I mean, it might also be because what I said wasn't really that questionable. I guess there was people that had an argument for Justin to keep his name.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it got that way. But at the same time, I just thought some of the things I was seeing being said towards Natalie was just unnecessary, directly, compared to what was being said directly about Justin, if you know what I mean. For like, this is not Styke, by the way.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm very, very excited. Just moving on from that, I'm very excited about what we have, coming up for the remainder of this year. Obviously with Earl Grey, we've got an exciting project in November that we've got pretty much ready and sort of almost scuffed off to manufactured, and it's on the way to go.
That's a new release.
Yeah, but we're not going to be saying who that is.
Okay. That's right. I tried.
So we might, but we're excited about that. So I can reveal that. But what also I'm pleased about is that already there are like 3 projects well on the go for the new year. One of which I can say is a profane one. That's about it.
Ooh.
But if anyone knows or listens to Villain Mills, again, another incredible album that we've put out on Inperspective Records, and it sort of shows again the width and I can't even say it. The width and breadth. Sorry,
the width. I like that.
I'm getting vodka lips.
The width. No, there's no alcohol in this studio.
But the extent of where we want to push, our sound, and Dan has some of the music he's sent. It's just absolutely twisted the realms of reality. He's just like, I love what he does so much because he completely challenges the norms within drum and bass. So he, these are the norms, and Dan's just over here.
Yeah.
Like he's now I'm just gonna do my weird shit over here, and I think that he's, it's what's weird is I speak to other artists, and he's a lot of artists' favorite artist on Inperspective. Like when people go, what's the deal with this profane? Or at least he's a person that people ask the most questions about, in regards to how he makes his music and how he gets there. And he's just in his own little mad bubble, and I love him dearly for it. Love him dearly.
Nice one. So we're getting more information, which means actually closer to November you can come and visit us again.
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
And then I think we will, because we did have, due to the corona, some changes with the setup that we are using here in this studio. So I think a next studio session with some live mixing would be actually
100%
a nice one.
Quick shout out, have to shout out Dissident, representing St. Petersburg and sort of ingenuity in music all around, and of course Lynch Kingsley, who with Death Cycles again, I think we've had a pretty good year, I would say. It's we've started with Dissident, then Lynch, now with Tom, and then we've got sort of 2 more projects to go. So that's 5 projects this year, which I'm really proud of, because I've been our busiest year.
Busy.
Yeah. And it's pretty, and we've already got 3 lined up for next year. So I'm very, very happy right now.
Nice one.
Good news.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 5 minutes left, guys. Oh. Yeah. Well, first of all, we're listening already on the Runaway from Bungle in the background.
Yeah. So I haven't got headphones on, anyone back at home yet. Bungle. Bunground.
Bunground.
He's in the Bungle ground. Yeah,
so I think we should thank our guests, listen to the niceness for the last 5 minutes that are remaining. Really, thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely, thank you.
And being available for us.
It's fun. It's great to come over.
To have this chat as well.
Yeah, no worries.
And Phuture-T, good luck with the rest of the album that is coming out on Inperspective, the next one. And you better all buy his LP, which is out already. Persuasive Funk.
Yes, it's smashing.
Amazing.
Very nice.
And Morty?
What's going on?
I'm gonna miss you till next Sunday.
We can always Skype, baby.
Of course, baby. So, Trademark, thank you also. Styke, you're traveling to Den Haag. Good luck with your train.
Oui.
And thank you, guys.
Yeah.
That was another nice little session of the Drum Bass Break.
Amazing night.
We're closing soon.
All right. Cheers. Thanks for having us. Thank you so much.
And we see you and
Thanks for listening.
see you next Sunday.
Yeah.
Keep it locked.